Derivative Jill.
Hello and welcome. I am Anti-Derivative Jill, and this is Indefinite Lunch and Infinite Combinations number 14. And I'm excited today to be reviewing the last two episodes of season 2 of the Orville, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and The Road Not Taken. I am joined here today with Pop Culture Curator, who makes this show even more fun. And if you haven't resubbed to his new channel, you should go do that. I put the link in the chat.
Thank you, Jill. Very kind. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again. Well, I'm so excited. We finally made it.
Yes, we finally made it to the end of season 2.
And knowing that we're only a few days away from the new episode, it's very exciting.
Yes, and next Tuesday we'll be reviewing that episode here.
Yep.
And
so
please
many people, join us.
I'm very glad to see so many people all around, YouTube and Twitter talking about the Orville.
Yeah, it seems to be out there in the discussion, so that's good. That's a very good thing.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's nice to have a day off. I get to catch up on some errands, and I'm preparing for my streams for next week. I was going to have a stream yesterday, but everybody was streaming yesterday, so I thought I just worked on some graphics and did some background stuff. So I'll be continuing my streams. I'll have one today, and then I'll do my first makeup stream next week.
Very cool. So yeah, everyone was off for the holiday yesterday, so they were all streaming.
Everybody, yes. Even my bandwidth kept dropping on my cable or the internet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay, so you're going to be streaming next Monday, and also today you're going to be having Ray Bradbury Theater, right?
Yes, Ray Bradbury Theater. We'll be watching 2 episodes. It'll be episodes 3 and 4 of the season 1. Next Monday, I'll do each week I'm going to be doing a Hollywood Makeup Master, and I'm going to start with one of the originals, which will be the original Lon Chaney Sr. So that'll be on Monday, and the Ray Bradbury Theater again next Tuesday.
Yes, I think that's a really great thing to focus in on, the creative aspect of filmmaking.
I'll see if people are interested. We'll see what happens.
I'm interested. I want to learn more.
Right. Even if there's anybody out there listening to this, if you're not interested or you don't know what I'm talking about, please give it a try. I think you will find it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of things that people. I cover a lot of things that people don't realize that go on in the background in Hollywood.
Yes. And also shout out to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. He had some tornadoes going around him, but he's clear of danger now, so that's good to hear.
Yes, the South. I've been there. Sorry, Gorilla. Good luck. That's why I came back to California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where I am, I only have to worry about hurricanes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, obviously all we get is earthquakes here, and that's rare. So I guess we're fortunate. It's just we have the cost of living, which is almost worse, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right. California is pretty expensive. I only went there for vacation once.
Yeah, it's no fun.
So, also hello in the chat to Hungry Boy. Hungry to clobber bad comics.
It's 4:38, 4:39 a.m.
Oh.
Where are you located?
So are you up early or up late, Hungry Boy?
Well, he did say earlier that he might be dozing off.
Okay.
So completely understandable.
Yes, that's totally understandable. He said his life is a technical difficulty. Okay. Well, I'm reading these chats for the first time, so I'm just going through them here. Yeah, I was having mic issues. I had to reinstall everything in order to get it to work, but
Hungry was asking me about your mic. I told him I didn't know much.
Yeah, it's a USB mic. Finicky. Finicky indeed, apparently. It's the first time I've had this kind of issue. But we are sadly not talking about Star Trek, but in some cases you can call it Seth Trek. It's Star
That's
Trek.
true.
It carries Gene Roddenberry's vision for sure.
Yeah, at least somebody does.
I'm glad to have you here. And hooray for Bradbury, he says. He likes the Bradbury show and the author.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm a huge
Books.
fan. Yeah, I've read all of Ray Bradbury's books, and I'm a huge fan of this Ray Bradbury theater that I'm streaming. A lot of people haven't even heard of it, so I'm excited.
And Gorilla's Random Thoughts is from Minnesota.
Gotcha, Minnesota. Gotcha, Gorilla. I apologize for that.
And Raymond Feliciano is in the car. Please be safe.
Hello, Ray. And I know how that is. That's usually how I'm listening.
So today we review season 2 episodes of the Orville. Okay, so today's the last day that we review 2 episodes per week. This is the last time we're doing 2 episodes. Next week we'll be doing just 1 episode for season 3. Season 3 of the Orville. The new season, the first episode of the new season is called Electric Sheep, like from the Philip K. Dick novel.
Do you have
Reference.
any idea how long that first episode is? Do you think is it 60 or 90 minutes? You know?
I'm under the impression that all of the episodes are over an hour, but I don't remember how long.
Okay, I was just wondering if they were going to introduce with the longer one, but I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. The information may be out there, but I did not look that up.
Gotcha.
So I say it every week. So let's actually, I want to hear it straight from Seth. So this video, I took this clip from Talking to Orville, from JP from Talking to Orville. I hope he's okay with me sharing just a short, less than a minute clip from his interview with Seth Macfarlane. JP's done a bunch of great interviews with everybody, so I hope he's okay with people sharing bits and pieces out there. Thank you for doing all your hard work, JP, and getting these interviews. And I say this every week that if we support the Hulu, if we support the Orville, Hulu will give us the season 4. And here it is coming from Seth.
As long as it's, I don't care why you do it, as long as you keep doing it. What are you hoping to bring to fans of the Orville with New Horizons? And what are your hopes for this incredibly rich universe you've created within the series?
More than anything, season 3 is our big swing. I think scope wise and story wise, we really have set out to do a little movie each week in a true sense, and to really reward fans who've been with us since the beginning. And look, I'm open to doing more of these things if that's what's in the cards. If the audience is there and they show up and there's a demand, there's an appetite for it, absolutely willing to do more. I think this is probably the most fun I've had writing on any project in my career.
And there you go.
Very cool.
Straight from him.
Maybe that means more budget. I don't know. Maybe a little more money to spend.
Yeah, exactly. So we officially have, well, I guess just 1 or 2 days, depending on how you look at it. The official counter, the countdown website that I have here says 1 day, 20 hours, and 58 minutes.
Okay, I can't
So
wait.
there we go. I think I get it tomorrow night at 11 p.m. I think depending on your time zone, you get it at different times. I should have brought that up, but here we go.
So you say 11 p.m. your time, you think?
Yes, I think so.
Tomorrow or the
get
next day?
Yeah, tomorrow. I think I get it tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
I'll see later if I can find that what that says when people get it.
Okay.
Depending on their time zones.
I didn't know they did that. I thought it was just out all at once, but I guess not.
Well, maybe it is, but I guess it's your schedule.
I could be wrong.
I could be too. So the first episode today is tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And this episode first aired April 18th, 2019. Now, this is different. This episode was written by Janet Lynn and this is her first time writing for the show, and it was directed by Gary Rake, who also served as first unit director for several season 1 and season 2 episodes. But this is his first full director credit. And we don't really have to worry too much about this opening shot here. The episode title, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, might come from the Shakespeare quote. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. To the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. That's that quote. They tell a story in this scene. They tell a story about how Ed was drunk and ended up saying that he wants to be with Kelly, but she still thinks that it's not a good idea. So here, Isaac has furthered the research on Dr. Aronov's quantum bubble, his quantum accelerator.
The time travel device, people. Yes, for anybody
Yes,
who can't remember, right?
Yes, at first it was just a Ford time travel device, but now Isaac has done some research on Dr. Aronov's research, and he's perfected it to the point that he thinks he can actually control it in such a way that he can travel backwards in time, not just forward. And more specifically, that he can link it up to someone's brain, either a biological or artificial.
And Lamar asks him, will it work? And he says, I don't know. So he's not sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. It hasn't been tested at all.
Correct.
And that's probably him explaining that there. And Kelly wants Lamar to do some maintenance work. And as he's going off to do that, this happens. The ship shakes, sirens go off and everything, and Isaac says that they've gone through a massive gravitational wake. However, when he hears a cough and turns around, he sees Kelly right there, and that's the end of the cold open.
Wearing a different wig.
Yeah, she's got different hair. This is her young Kelly hair.
Yeah, her young Kelly hair. Everything else is the same, but it's her young Kelly hair.
Dr. Finn is checking her out here. And find out that she really is just exactly like Kelly, with the same molecular degradation, but 7 years younger.
Notice her bangs are covering her mole. That will change. I will point that out later.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I like it when you notice details like that. Chief Lamar and Isaac decide that the gravitational wave kicked off the temporal field from the quantum accelerator, the banana ray. The field brought back Kelly from the past due to Commander Grayson's proximity to the machine, and it brought Kelly, who's 7 years younger. The only explanation that they give is that quantum physics is weird. And then
well, and also the explanation they give is why Kelly, why then, why there now, is she happened to be thinking about that night as the gravitational wave kicked in.
Yes, correct.
So that's their meaning. And when they said why, Lamar just said physics or quantum physics. So I need to ask Yvette about that.
Yeah, let's ask Yvette.
Right? Is that true, Yvette?
We need a science consultant. Andrew Gormanis, were you involved?
I know. I wish she was here. We need to get her on here.
Kelly wonders why she doesn't remember traveling to the future 7 years ago, and Isaac suggests that Kelly broke off into a new timeline but also considers that it could be the same timeline but broken. But if it's a separate timeline, then they don't have to worry about what younger Kelly learns. And if it's a single one, they do. So this episode explores both of those possibilities, but they decide to tell younger Kelly the truth about her past, or the past that she doesn't know about yet, her future, their past, and things get a little complicated when they start explaining this past to her. So
Yes.
so Kelly just decides to give her her personal logs. And hello in the chat to Sandra Feliciano here.
Great. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you again.
And since he's in Australia, he's up late. Oh, and Hungry Boy hadn't heard that some people call the Orville Seth Trek. He likes that.
Yeah.
Fans being rewarded, says Hungry Boy. Seth, Hollywood hates that. Right? The language that the cast of the Orville uses is so positive and so refreshing. It's very strange.
This kind of reminds me of a blend of two of the TOS episodes, The Enemy Within and Tomorrow Was Yesterday. It's kind of like they blended the two plots.
Oh, I love Tomorrow's Yesterday.
Yeah, except we don't get the evil Kirk, or
Right.
or the evil, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's also a bit like the TNG episode with two Rikers, where Riker comes back, where there's a separate Riker that was created due to a transporter accident.
Right, which I have to ask, does that same trope happen in any of the later Star Trek shows, like Voyager or any of that, you know?
I can't think of one.
Okay.
If anybody in the chat knows, let me know.
If there is not, I'm surprised.
Yeah, right. And Gordon is wondering if past Kelly has already changed the timeline, but of course they won't know it because they're in that timeline.
Correct.
And Lamar says that since the gravitational pulse was natural, that it was also chaotic and too random to figure out what to lock onto. I'm uncertain. This made me wonder. I'm uncertain if the Orville has tachyon particles like Star Trek to explain these kinds of things, but I can't make that kind of assumption at this point.
And I don't know. Yeah.
We'll have to see in the future. As such, since they say they can't send Kelly back, Present Kelly tries to assure past Kelly that it is clear that past Kelly comes from her own separate timeline, so that nothing she does will have any kind of impact. But that just makes her feel insignificant instead of relieved. So they suggest she get a union posting. And
yeah, she's a lieutenant, I guess, already. So okay, it's like they're calling her lieutenant. So I didn't know she was already a member of the union, but I guess so. Or do you get to just pick your grade? I don't know.
No, you don't pick your grade. This is pretty clear that 7 years ago, Kelly had been through the academy already and had achieved the rank of lieutenant by this point.
Makes sense.
Yes, that would make a lot more sense.
A lot more, yes, it would, yes.
And
why she would just pick, yeah, she just pick captain, right?
Yeah, right. Why does anybody start as an ensign if you could skip around?
Right.
Oh, and hello in the chat there. Cardinal, always awesome to see you here.
Hello, Cardinal Sin. Good to see you there.
He affirms what I thought, but I wasn't going to say because I don't remember some episodes. No other transporter reflections in the Star Trek franchise. Or I don't know if there are any more doubles. I think I remember Picard. There might be one, but
Yeah, not necessarily transporter issues, but I'm just wondering where two characters get doubled, or they're rivals, or similar to that plot where one character gets split to two.
yeah, considering the timeline stuff, I'm thinking Cockney Spock didn't like this much. He never saw it. He hasn't seen the Orville, so I don't really know.
I don't know.
It there are a lot. This is the part of the Orville where the timelines start to diverge, and it doesn't bother me quite as much. He's very particular about that kind of thing for
And
sure.
meticulous, yes.
Anyhow, so Tala helps convince Past Kelly that she's her own person and can live her life, without worrying about present Kelly. So Past Kelly does that, and she starts telling drunk stories about Kelly, when she was in the academy. But present Kelly doesn't like that, because she has to be a leader and has to look professional. And she wants to be respected. And this next scene, I really like this because Ed and Gordon are playing this video game, and it's really relatable to how we play video games too. And button mashing can be really ridiculous in fighting games.
Yeah, it's funny too, and they even have the red and the blue like we would do. And the fact that this is the future, but they're still having trouble with the controls. That is me all over right there.
Yeah, that's me too. I got kind of good at Mortal Kombat, but not anything else.
I just start smashing buttons, and sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, any other game but Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I'll just smash them all randomly. I didn't know any of the combos for any other game.
Sometimes you got to push like 5 buttons at once. And it's like I think it's a little too much for me.
Yeah. I think at one point he says I don't have 8 fingers or something like that. I don't remember how many he said. And so Ed is going out with Past Kelly.
And here's our Will Sasso cameo again.
Yeah, Will Sasso came back.
Does his makeup look different to you or the same?
Well, I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and look at that. Well, I just have to remember what episode that was that he was in. I'm gonna go, but something strikes me as different. I don't remember the camouflage pattern, but I'm gonna go back and look at the other one.
You're very good at spotting details. You're probably correct there.
But the lighting is also different. Last time it was shot like a daytime episode, and this is at night, so it may be the lighting.
So, Kelly has the bartender get Ed more drinks. But he doesn't really have to drink it if he doesn't want to, but he does anyway. So I don't understand why this is a character trait for Ed. It's kind of weird.
I guess he does what he's told.
I don't know. It's just like you can be ordered a drink, but you don't have to drink it. If he really is finished drinking, it's like, why did you order that for me? I didn't want it.
Yeah, I would just say, we'll give you some juice.
And speaking of not liking things, Present Kelly doesn't like Past Kelly being with Ed. But that's Past Kelly.
And here we go, the awkwardness. Yeah. By the way, this is where her bangs have changed.
Oh. Yeah, so those are the kind of details I have you here for.
Well, it depends on which shot you'll see, but you'll see that it looks like they trimmed them to keep them out of her eyes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, some Kalons are picked up by the scanner as having plotted an intercept course with the Orvilles.
This is so TNG here. They get your heart pumping for nothing. It's like, oh, okay. Your heart pumps for like 0.5 seconds.
So they divert course via the quantum drive, and Gordon agrees with Present Kelly that he shouldn't be with Past Kelly. So yeah, you're right.
As quick as that incident began, it is over. Yes, we don't even see the alien ship, but oh well.
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't save that for a commercial bumper. You know, right?
Yeah. In reference to the video games, Cardinal Sin says, even though my own stream games for the PC, I can't play most of them because I don't have 17 fingers.
Honestly, I think it's for kids. I mean, no offense to kids, but they seem to be more nimble. I know me, I'm old and I have some arthritis, so there's no way I'd ever be able to keep up.
Yeah. All right. Oh, goodness. My email decided to pop up for some reason. That's not good. So, Pass Kelly takes everybody who wants to go to the environmental simulator for some time at an Earth nightclub. Speaking of, you know, things being for the youth here, Tala has fun with Pass Kelly, being, I guess, a little closer in age to her. But Ed and Gordon aren't really having much fun.
Well, being the two oldest people in the room, yeah, that's pretty much obvious.
But honestly, I've always been this way.
Oh,
I
me
wouldn't
too,
have,
right? I'm the type that's always sitting because I'm kind of shy and I don't know, especially when I'm around people I don't know.
exactly, yes, I'm introvert, so I've never had any fun in a nightclub because I could never talk over the loud music. Even
Screaming right in their ear, you have to pretty much scream and spit in their ear.
even when I was in my 20s, I didn't like it. I always preferred a bar that had a pool table or a bowling alley
Oh,
or,
yep, totally
Dave
agree.
and
Yes.
Buster's. But Yaphet likes it. I liked his dance moves.
Yes, I think it's a kind of a retro disco, futuristic. I'm not sure.
hmm
This was nice to see Bordis and Clyde living it up.
Yeah, right. It's
Actually
always a
looking
good
like they're
thing.
having a right. Actually looking like they're having a good time. They're having a good time for a change.
hmm
But
They
last week,
need that.
remember last week somebody was saying that they thought that Bordis and Clyde always act like they hate each other. Well, this episode here kind of makes them look relatively happy.
Yeah. Yeah, nightclubs do suck, but I'm glad that Bordis and Clyden get to enjoy them. And he prefers the pub too. Hungry Boy does. But of course it's fun to see them actually bonding over something. They enjoy
There you are.
I wanted to get this was definitely one where I would have wanted a clip.
Yeah, they're definitely. You see the smile on their faces. They're actually having a good time.
Yeah, they say it reminds them of a Mocklin mating song. Can you talk for me for a little bit? I need to sneeze.
Absolutely, go for it. And as you guys know, this episode here is covering here. We have two Kellys with the timeline split. So I don't know if any of you have seen the Orville before, but it'll play into the future, which I think is a nice touch. I'm not going to give away too much, but I sure want to try that drink they're having, Neapolitan. I don't know if that's real or not, or how they keep the layers separate. I was thinking. I don't know if it's a combination of like oil in there and it's differently diluted, but I thought it was an interesting effect, unless that's just the glasses that are colored.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe those are different. Those are different types of liquids, so the densities are different,
I
giving
think
you
so.
the separated layers.
Yeah, because they
That's
stay separated, almost like oil and gas or whatever. So yeah, I think it's the different densities possibly. I don't know if
pretty
that's a real
smart.
life. I don't know if it's a real life drink or supposed to be futuristic.
Oh, I don't think it's real. I think it's definitely futuristic. And your
Okay.
explanation is brilliant of what it could be. So they're talking about how difficult it is to confront your younger self, um, and how your younger self you feel like they're kind of stupid.
Oh, of course.
And And then, speaking of which, we cut to that, and she's got a nightgown, and but they, Ed admits here that he's still in love with present Kelly, and that he's starting to feel weird about it. But the Kaon show up on an intercept course again, so that threat from earlier comes back up.
There we go.
And we find that the Orville, that they'll intercept with the Orville for 8 minutes. So they decide to run for it again, like they did last time. And Kelly has the idea to hide an icy ring system and become the ice. And becoming the ice rang a bell for me. It was very familiar because those were the exact words that Odo said in Deep Space Nine when he was with Wayne 6 and they were trying to escape the Jem'Hadar, because Wayne 6 was a what they considered a defect. He actually didn't like the war and he wanted it to end, and he actually would have become an ally for Deep Space Nine if the episode didn't end the way it did and he had to kill himself.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I kind of spoiled that episode for you, but it's a really good one.
It's
Deep
okay.
Space
I'll
Nine,
forget by the time I get there.
I think by the time when you should watch the Orville with us for Saturday Night Star Trek at clobbering times, and I think you'll really enjoy Deep Space Nine.
Okay. You said Saturday nights?
Yeah.
Oh, because you guys were covering the Next Generation, and now you're going to be covering DS9. Is that right?
Yes, we're almost done with Next Generation, and then we're going to get into the movies, and then after that is Deep Space Nine.
The TNG movies or all the movies?
TNG. We already did the TOS movies.
Oh, I wish I'd have been there for that. I'll go back and listen
Yeah, I
to
know.
those.
Yeah.
But I will tune in for the DS9 ones. That'll give me a chance because I've never watched the series before, so it'll give me a chance to catch up while watching. I love Raquel's opinion, so I can't wait to hear her. She's straightforward and honest. She thinks the way I do.
She does. She does think the way you do. I think you'll like what she thinks for all of those episodes.
Cool. That'll help kind of wash down the bad taste if there's anything I don't like.
Right, exactly. And oh yeah, everybody's in their pajamas. I don't know. I didn't write anything for this part. I just like the pictures. Sometimes. And they arrive at the icy planet and they find a place to hide. And
visually, the graphics are great, but I have to ask you, Jill, in your opinion, in the future, if you had a ship like this, and if you had to maneuver through an ice storm or a meteor storm that looks like that, what do you think is more accurate, a human hand or an AI handling and the steering and maneuvering of the ship?
The ship. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know.
I don't know. It just
Gordon
like,
is the one who does this.
Right, he does. He flies it manually, and I'm thinking
Gordon does it manually.
Right, but I mean that's great, but it just seems like the computer AI or the automatic pilot would be so advanced by that point, it had a much faster reaction than a human, but because the human mind is not perfect. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Sorry. Go ahead.
Especially when getting the ship so close to the ice like that and not crashing. But it is Gordon. He's a miracle pilot. So
right, and if I remember correctly, the Orville does not have a deflector shield. It just has shields. Is that right?
The Orville has deflectors.
Or deflector dish. Deflector dish. The Orville does have that?
I know the Orville has deflectors, but I don't know about a dish.
Well, are the deflectors and the shield? Well, are the deflectors and the shield two different things?
Yes.
All right.
I've always understood the deflectors and shields as being two separate things.
Gotcha. All right.
For me, my understanding of deflectors is that's what you use. The deflectors are used for when there's debris, just random space debris that you gotta encounter, right. And then the shields are for
larger
protection.
Items.
Yeah, larger items, torpedoes, phasers, And that's my understanding of them. I don't know if that's the understanding of them on the
That's what
Orville.
I always figured. It's just that I
So
knew
I'm not sure.
no, that's what I figured too. I figured that the deflectors was more for like space debris as they're flying through space, and the shields are for like larger things or in case they're under attack. But I was just wondering because I know in Star Trek they have a deflector dish which symbolizes the deflector. I just didn't know if the Orville had anything like that or if it's visible on the ship itself or not. I guess not.
That is a fabulous question that I would love to figure out one day. And regarding that drink we saw earlier with the layers, Gorilla says it's a real drink.
Oh, really?
The Neapolitan cocktail is based off of Neapolitan ice cream.
Oh, so did I get the
Wow.
name right?
Yeah, you did. And actually, Hungry for Clobbering prefers DS9 to TNG.
Well, that's great, Hungry. I prefer TOS to all of it.
Right. And Cardinalson says DS9 is probably the best of all Star Trek series, getting in depth into each character as well as a great ensemble cast.
Okay.
And also says time is an illusion, lunchtime doubly so. Okay. And Han Solo says, never tell me the odds. Okay, so here's an opinion directly from a real pilot in real life, Sandra
Excellent.
Feliciano. She says an autopilot may be faster, but a human can intuit and look ahead to be more creative with evasive maneuvers.
It makes sense.
And Cardinal Sin says, for some reason, in TOS and TNG, there's a dish at the front of the Enterprise called the deflector dish, but it's mainly used for tractor beams and things like that.
I didn't know the tractor beam came from the dish. That's interesting.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought it came from somewhere down below the hull, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not a ship person.
Well, because I was just watching a review of Space Seed just yesterday, and I thought the tractor beam came from like below the ship, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I would love to get someone on here who's an expert on all the ship stuff. That would be fun. Hello in the chat to PJ at Orville Nation.
Hello, Orville Nation. Welcome.
Oh, Gorilla worked in a bar for 16 years, so he knows about that drink.
Gorilla, I have to ask about that drink. Is it like 3 or 4 different flavors? And if so, what flavors are they?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I need to try one of these days, I guess. I'm not much of a drinker, but that sounds something I'd be willing to try. It's interesting.
Yeah. And anyway, they do all that. They do what they do, and the Kaelon can't find them. And even though there's a giant Orville-shaped ice cube hanging around, but the Kaelon miss them because their scanners don't pick them up.
Yeah, I guess the scanners don't work around ice. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think what it is that the Kaelon rely only on their automated systems, because they are AI.
Well, I was just thinking it seemed like the sensors could tell the difference between the ship and ice, but I guess not.
No, I guess not. I guess the sensors don't check for shape patterns
or energy.
Oh well, they had shut down as many systems as they could, so that
of course you got to have that right. Of course, everything except for life support, right? Of course,
right. Of course. Oh, and gravity. I didn't see anybody floating around.
Oh, that's true.
And so anyway, just in time to perform a miracle at the end of the show, Lamar and Isaac figure out a way to send Past Kelly home. Isaac says their reasoning was by reversing our quantum plasma polarity and inducing a laterally seismic field in the ship's graviton emitters, we may be able to reproduce the effects of the gravitational phenomenon. And John says, now if we can focus the wave through the lens of the Aeronov device, we can send you home. So they do that.
Oh, yes.
Time travel, quantum physics, technobabble, fun stuff. I'm not going to worry too much about it that time because it's time travel. When it's time travel, I kind of give the science a bit of
Well,
a...
and it's still better technical babble than current Star Trek, so I'll
Oh,
take it any day.
absolutely, yes, because quantum,
Right, at
quantum
least
physics
here,
is real, plasma is real.
right, and with this, you actually stop and think: is it real? Is
Mhm.
it possible? But with Discovery, the entire time over the current Trek, you're like, oh no, that doesn't, none of that makes even sense. Or, well, it's like written
Yeah,
by
right.
elementary school level. But that's neither here
Exactly.
nor there.
I agree completely. This is, you can at least it fired your imagination. Like if time travel possible, how could you do it?
Right, and makes you want to ask somebody like Yvette.
Mhm.
That's why it's funny whenever I see her on streams and people want to talk about time travel. That's the last thing she wants to talk about.
I know. She's like, it's not possible. You cannot travel in the past. Past Kelly thinks it's okay to do a memory wipe, because present Kelly's intact mind is proof that it won't harm her. But if past Kelly is from a different timeline, that's not necessarily true. It's like the person's writing this forgotten that past Kelly came from a different timeline, or believes that she's from the same timeline, which is probably more likely the case. If it's possible to get back from that completely different timeline, brain damage is still possible according to me. But anyway, we don't have to worry about that.
I agree with you, Jill, on that. Yes.
Yeah. So also the episode itself said earlier that past Kelly. Okay, so I'm not sure if this episode wants to say it's from a different timeline or if she's from the same timeline, but logically she should be from a different one.
Theoretically, right, but they they touch on it. They're not specific. I don't think.
No, they're not. They make you decide that. So I'm deciding.
Well, and
Time
I think
travel,
it might play into the next episode too. I just don't want to give away too much.
right? Time travel is difficult even for science fiction writers, so I'll give them a break.
Right, and this is the episode. I thought that the emblem on their chest simplified their ship, but it doesn't. So because like the Lieutenant Kelly wears a different emblem altogether. So I guess it's their department. Because I thought it was a Union badge, but I don't know.
Well, wait. Oh, what badge does Kelly have?
A Union. It looks like a Union badge. But the Lieutenant Kelly has a different badge altogether. I don't know
Yeah,
if
because
I guess I mentioned it earlier.
because Orville has its own badge because they're different ships. She's
Well,
her.
so you think she's wearing a badge from a different ship?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
Okay,
she wasn't
that's right.
though.
I don't want to take you off track. Sorry, I should have
No,
mentioned
I
it
want to
earlier.
see. No, I know, but
Well, then it makes me think.
great
I wonder if
thing.
Lamar is wearing a different badge. I haven't looked.
Oh yeah, that's
You look
cool.
at
She's
that.
got like kind of an Adam.
Well, so does
badge.
it. Look at to the left of her. That other character has a different one too.
What? Oh yeah, that's
See?
that's a great point.
Okay, so see, I'm thinking, is it based on their department or their rank? But then why is Kelly wearing one that looks like the Union? But I don't know. Go
These are
ahead.
very good questions. I'm very happy to for someone to tell me, or we can explore it later.
See, he's got a different one.
Yeah, he's chief engineer.
Maybe it's rank, but hers is Union. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a command rank.
So here they end up needing to divert power. So all the power, more power than they should.
Right. It's funny they have that big light there to signify drama, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
How quickly is this flashing? Is how worried you should be.
technically, how is that helpful? I mean, what is the point? But hey, it looks good on film.
It does. Technically, no. The only thing helpful are the panels.
Right.
And what's this? 70s joke. Grape, ape. I read it, but I don't understand it.
It used to be a cartoon back then. I think he was referring to that drink we were talking about.
Oh, wait, was there an answer to that?
Well, back in
Oh,
the
he'll have to
70s, there
tell
was a
you
cartoon
later.
called Grape Ape.
Oh, okay. That's what he means by he'll have to tell you later. He doesn't.
Right. I will message you on Twitter to find out what those are made of.
Okay, so we'll find out what's in the Neapolitan drink later. Cardinal Sin says they can power down ship systems and run on emergency power and not be discovered. Basically,
Just like in Trek.
reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
The
Don't
neutron
forget-
flow, that works every time.
Yeah, exactly. Cardinal Sin also says, don't forget the first episode where he said, I called this one Hugging the Donkey. This might be different badges because one is on a command path, one is on a medical path or an engineering path. So the badges signify different departments as well as the colors.
That's what I was
of the-
wondering. I was thinking maybe the Union badge signified command.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so they end up needing to divert power and giving the banana quantum accelerator time machine enough power to send Kelly back to her own time, to her original time, to the past. And as far as I'm concerned, probably not the writer's intent, but from this time onward, we're examining past Kelly's life and her future as it unfolds from when she wakes up in her apartment as a completely new timeline that she's forging here.
Yes.
And even though everyone else is essentially the same, it's possible. It's possible in a universe with many timelines and multiple universes. So, it doesn't bother me too much, the weirdness. And of course, that's the thing on her head to work with the quantum accelerator.
I was
And
going to
she's-
ask, does Yaphet see through his hands?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because he has a button that picture. But you notice he doesn't have to look up and see the button. So I was thinking, I guess he can see through his hands. Okay, sorry.
I never noticed the button. Yeah, he could very easily pull his eyes up there. Why not?
Eyes? He has eyes?
He doesn't have eyes. That's right. So does he? Yeah, right. He doesn't have eyes. So
So he can
he
see
sees
everywhere in all
somehow.
directions at the same time.
It's never been said that he's blind, so he has to see from somewhere.
Right, but if he can see through his, well, I guess you can call them hands. That means he can see through all of his body, everywhere at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't have any eyes, but who knows? That's
Yeah.
for a
You
different
bring up great questions. I'll figure them out one of these days. But we don't know very much about his biology, his species. Maybe we'll learn more in season 3.
True, hopefully.
And of course, we get back to Kelly's apartment where the memory wipe fails, so she rejects any more dates with Ed because she doesn't want them to go through the divorce again and all that stuff.
So yes, gentlemen, Ed gets officially dumped twice in this episode by the same woman from 2 different time periods. Way to go!
Yeah. So Adrian Palicki says that performing the nuances between past Kelly and present Kelly was the most difficult acting she'd ever done. Coupled with the sequel that we'll talk about soon, The Road Not Taken, because she had to switch between the characters, and she had to for this reason she had to memorize the script by heart, and she had someone else play off during these scenes, and that someone else was Michelle Boyd, and she did that to help with the double the scenes where they were together.
She mentioned that she had to memorize the script by heart.
Yeah.
That's odd. Usually actors don't admit that. It's not a good idea.
Mhm.
But okay, all right. That means
Yeah,
they
I
don't.
know.
That means normally she doesn't bother to memorize the script, which is sad.
Mhm.
But They probably read off. How do you want to think about it? Teleprompters.
Right. Carnelson says they may be different badges. Oh, wait, I read that one. He also says time travel stories are notoriously difficult to get right, even with good, seasoned science fiction writers. Generally speaking, on TV, time travel stories are rather weak in the writing.
Yeah, I'd agree, especially when you know you have to wrap it up in under an hour.
And considering that this one is pretty good, well done. There's a logic to be found in it. And so let's go to the road not taken. I think I didn't have any trivia for this one.
Oh, okay, so we're done with this episode. All right.
Yeah. Oh, right. What did you think of this episode?
Wasn't one of my favorites. It was, I kind of mentioned it last week. It's another episode revolving on relationships. Orville seems to do it, in my opinion, a little too much of that. I'm kind of getting tired of the relationship. Every time Ed wants to talk to Kelly, it's about them wanting to get back together. I'd
Yeah.
love for her to walk in the door and say, "I'll talk to you, Ed, but as long as it's not about us getting back together, let's stop that once and for all." Then I would be happy. But honestly,
but
to grade it, I'd give it a C.
Okay. I liked a
Because
little more than that.
I know it serves the next. Actually, my opinion was a little lower on the first viewing, but then upon watching the episode after this one, it raised it a little bit better because now I can see why they did what they did.
Right, exactly. He does focus a lot on relationships, but he does give a payoff, story-wise, adventure-wise, eventually.
Well, I'm tired of seeing the man get dumped, and he's acting like a simp. He's always cowering and begging for, but I don't know. I just wish
I
they would
don't
start
exactly
showing
see
that.
it that way. They do show Alara as being bad with relationships too, so it wasn't
Well, they've
always just
highlighted on that, but they don't spend several episodes on it, right? Where the episodes revolve around it.
True.
I don't, like I said, it's a matter of opinion. Some people like it, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There we go. Road not. By the way, Road Not Taken. Did you notice how short the credits were at the beginning?
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, you're right.
The whole title sequence, right? It went straight from the Orville to, I think, the Road Not Taken. It didn't show like starring this and guest starring this, and it didn't show any of that stuff.
You're absolutely right. I was there sitting through. I usually sit through the whole credits, and you're right. It skipped the whole thing almost.
Mm-hmm. I think they do show some of the credits during the episode, but basically, like once the episode starts, they'll start showing the credits, the titles over the scenes. But it's just that I thought it was odd because it didn't show the whole opening sequence like the prior episodes had.
My reasoning for that is that they were showing this on Fox, and they wanted some extra time to tell some extra story, and to do that, they had to cut some of the credits.
Very likely, yes. They were probably having to trim this episode over time. You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm. But we won't have that problem in season 3.
Nope.
So, The Road Not Taken. This episode first aired on April 25th, 2019. It is written by David A. Gutman. And just like us, we'd be thinking of the TNG episode Second Chances, where Riker meets his duplicate. So he did try to make sure to make it different from that, and it was. So this episode was directed by Gary Rake, and I assume to keep the directing style the same as the previous episode. Since this is a sequel to the last one. It's also the season finale for season 2, so next week we will review season 3, episode 1, Electric Sheep. It's also noticeable that this is the same title as the Robert Frost poem, but unlike the William Shakespeare's portion, I won't be reading the Robert Frost poem. It's a little bit longer.
Yes, here we open up in the mighty Sequoias. On an alien planet.
Beyond the Orville. So the basic premise of this episode is that Ed doesn't get the Orville as a captain, and Claire isn't on the Orville, so that means Marcus and Ty don't become friends with Isaac, and that means the Kalons have won. And
Mocklin
that's
has
what.
been destroyed.
Yeah, Mockling's
They mentioned
destroyed,
later. Yeah.
and Earth's destroyed. Everything. So what I so that's what happens in this episode.
Right. This is where the first few minutes of my mind was. I was like, wait, what did I miss?
Yeah, right. They don't tell you that right away here, so we don't get all that. I'm just giving that to you to give context. So it starts
Yes.
with these two walking through the snow, and they're scavenging, and they find a food synthesizer. And I gotta make this big.
There you go.
hmm I don't have too many notes here, just because it's just them and the Kalon coming to attack.
Right. They rummage through the listening post and they basically pull out not a microwave, but a food synthesizer.
I know it looks like a microwave, right? At
Yes,
first,
it
that's
does.
what I
Even
thought.
has a turntable. Isn't that quaint?
But it's a food synthesizer. So
Yes.
and so they come on the Kalon come on the planet looking menacing until their heads pop off, and then it looks a little bit silly. I don't know. I thought it looks funny.
Well, I guess it looked more sillier if they tried to run, I suppose. So that's why they had the heads fly off instead.
Okay, I guess you have a point.
Yeah, it would probably look silly if they were running in those suits.
hmm
Because then they can't run the same. You know what I mean? They can acting wise, they can teach them how to walk and act the same, but running the same would look like a bunch of different people running differently.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Okay, I take it back. The flying heads is brilliant.
Well, it's the logistics. I think they realized it would have looked silly, so it makes sense. It makes sense.
It does. Okay, thank you for fixing that for me.
Oh, no problem.
So they escape and stuff. So when there's a lot of action, I don't have a whole lot of things to say, but
No,
it's
but yeah, it
nice.
looks great.
Nice,
I enjoy it.
nice, yeah, nice visuals. And so they have this derelict shuttle they're flying around in. It's still in good running order, but it looks like it's been beat up. And if most of the Orville is a reference to Star Trek, this particular episode seems to be a reference to Star Wars.
I was just gonna say yes, The Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back. Oh, and I'm sure a couple times in the prequels too. Yeah, at least.
So I'm more on the Star Trek side. So if you notice something from Star Wars that I miss in this episode, please let me know.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I don't think I got everything.
I'll point one up coming up soon that I thought about. I'll wait till you show it.
Okay. And
I want to point out great visual effects. Wonderful that they spent time on it. It looks really, really expensive.
yes, they have this action scene where Gordon is flying around. I really love this. This looks beautiful. He's flying around this ice moon, and the Kalon ship ends up getting blasted to bits right there. And they get the quantum drive back just in time. And
See, now is when we start getting our credits instead of having them playing with the show. You see what I'm saying?
yes,
Or over the opening title.
yes, very well noted. Since they're about an even match for the Kalons, they decide they're going to go hide in the Caliban system, but we don't quite get there because of things that happen. So we know for sure now at this point that it's a different timeline because we find out the Kalon have taken over half the galaxy for the past 9 months. And Gordon hasn't had a good meal for a long time. So what does he choose? he picks a Twinkie. Maybe not what I would eat if I'd been starving forever.
Yeah, probably not me.
Honestly.
Right, I would have something much more substantial. I guess is what I would pick.
Yeah, no. Me too. But it's a good comedy moment there.
And another 20th century reference.
Of course. Well, who knows? Twinkies might be the one food that does last into the 21st century. 25th
Literally,
century.
right? Literally.
So an outside signal coming from a ship, this ship right here, shuts down their quantum drive, and this ship contains others who were Orville crew members.
Right, but originally they thought they were scavengers, so they thought they were being raided by scavengers.
Yes, that's right. That's right. They think that they're just going to be, they think they're in trouble for some tension. We learn in this timeline that the Kaylon succeeded in using the Orville to get through Earth's defenses. And so they won the Battle of Earth instead of the humans and the Krill working together. Kelly knows that she and the others should have been on that ship. So Dr. Finn's memory wipe didn't work. Kelly knows now that she should not have rejected that relationship because it all led to Ed becoming captain of the Orville. And since they weren't together, Kelly never felt the need to request that the Admiralty consider Ed to be on the captain. So Into the Fold never happens, and as a result, Isaac never forms a bond with Dr. Finn and her sons. And without Isaac, they don't choose to. He doesn't choose to go against his kind, so the Kaylon win.
Correct. Yes.
They decided they need to send Kelly back again, but with the proper memory wipe this time. And Dr. Finn knows she could do it right because Kelly lacked beta secretase protein, which is a real thing.
Of course, we should have all known that. Just
No,
kidding, guys.
No, I didn't. I looked it up. Beta secretase it's a real protein that Kelly lacks that she needed for the memory wipe to have worked.
Gotcha.
And apparently, there's this resistance underground that can help them get the protein. And this episode, yeah, right. The credits for David A. Goodman writing the episode.
David A. Goodman, not Saul Goodman.
So I had already explained all this part.
Right, this is where they're explaining to Ed what happened, pretty much.
Yeah, and so here's the asteroid field. So more
Yes.
Star Wars here.
Right, wait till you see the cockpit of the ship. There we are, Millennium Falcon, everybody, straight from Star Wars.
Yeah, a little homage there, I think.
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Hungry Boy thought the Twinkie looks nasty. Well,
Don't
yeah,
they
it's got some weird light. Mhm. What? All right. So they head through the asteroid field. That used to be a planet that broke up because it is headed to be, because it's on its way to the black hole. It's going to be a part of the accretion disk, and then it's going to be, I guess it's going to be consumed by the black hole somehow. And they get to the underground resistance, and they get to the planet. Some nice shots.
Well, don't forget, isn't this Earth?
No, this is not Earth.
Yet, okay. Go ahead.
No, we're not at Earth yet.
Not yet. Okay, sorry.
No, this is the Resistance planet. I forget.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I swear I camped right over there.
Oh, you camped here.
And definitely, I can tell where that's shot. At least the real.
We're not on Earth.
I know. It's just I'm a big fan. I go camping up there all the time, so I recognize this. Which is great.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
I'm glad they get outside. Right, I'm glad they get outside to do some outside filming. I'm always happy to see that.
Mm-hmm. So we find out so first we see Yaphet here.
And he has to remind Yaphet who he is. At first, Yaphet doesn't
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah. Right, because he left a bit of himself somewhere, or he lost a bit of himself, and
Right.
that contained some of his memory.
So my question here: does Yaphet only hear him, or can he see and hear him?
I think he can see him.
Okay.
So then we find, of course, that the resistance leader happens to be Alara, who has
Oh, welcome back. Yes.
who has apparently healed from her mishaps with her musculature, and she just they even do mention it that she has to do gravity treatments.
Yes, she recovered.
Yes, she recovered from that. And they don't do too much with her in this episode, unfortunately, but it is great to see her.
I know. I was thinking the exact same thing. It was good to see her and underutilized.
Mhm.
But honestly, to give them credit though, it's a very busy episode, so I don't think it was intentional.
Right. And Alara gives Dr. Finn what she needs to perform the memory wipe on Kelly. And of course, because we need some tension, the Kalan end up finding this spot pretty quickly. And Ed, Kelly, Lamar, and Gordon get away. And luckily, something seems to be jamming the Kalan sensors because they can't really seem to hit the ship very well.
Nope, no,
That
they're
big
not.
giant ship.
It's right. It's like this is their version of stormtroopers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but they're
They look
robots.
cool, very intimidating looking, but they seem to have poor aim
Very bad aim.
and the delays. The delays. Yes, they have. Okay.
I guess they do hit somebody, but we don't know.
Right, a guy wearing red. I may point out.
There's Kalan ships. And so that he can concentrate on flying, Gordon has Ty press the button to activate the tractor beam. When the
Yes,
shuttle
the
gets
pushing
closer.
that button really does a lot. It doesn't just turn the tractor beam on and off; it actually maneuvers it apparently. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
did you mention where they're at?
yeah, Gordon says that they have to use the event horizon of a black hole to hide.
Right, they casually cruise into a black hole, everybody. And she said, "Won't they say won't we be crushed?" And he says, "Not as long as we go through the event horizon, everybody." So
Yeah,
that's
the
kind of
event
I think
horizon.
well they're using the first of all we know that none of this is true, so I'll just
Right.
stick with saying it's fiction. They would have been crushed long before they even got that close to the black hole. But go ahead.
I believe so too. I think this part is really weird that they do this because hanging around this area,
It's fantastical. It's just
I
stretch.
definitely, from what I know in a black hole, is if you get too close to it, you get stretched out like spaghetti.
Yes, you will. You'll be torn apart. Right. Even light, it tears it apart. Right. So
Right.
there's a
None
ship.
of this drives for me.
No solid object would be able to make
Yeah,
it through.
the
Let's put it that way.
science in this part is quite wacky, but
Which is okay.
I guess. And the only part that they do get right is that if you were able to somehow survive being that close into a black hole, that you would experience time dilation.
I think they're kind of hinting at similar to that. What was that Matthew McConaughey movie a few years ago where he did this? Event Horizon? No, it wasn't that. I get the names mixed up. But it was the same plot of this. Matthew McConaughey went through the Event Horizon. And he went back in time with his daughter. I can't remember. I'm sure somebody maybe in the chat might remember.
Yeah, somebody in the chat might know that.
It was a big movie. I just don't remember. I get the names of them all mixed up.
Okay, hey, wait a minute. I'm getting deja vu. You said that earlier. Han Solo says, never tell me the odds. And Hungry Boy's happy to see Alara too. And so I pulled up the new slides here.
Okay.
And so they
Interstellar
have to Interstellar. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they definitely do deal with time dilation in that movie. You're right.
and a black hole. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he says that every 1 second near the event horizon is like 2 hours for the Kalins.
Yes.
So they lose 2 days once they finally emerge, waiting for the Kalons to finally leave. And Kelly set the course for Earth because they got to get Isaac's files so they could figure out how to use the banana quantum accelerator
There you
during
go.
the battle. Yeah, that's what I figured out I could call it. So you remember that it's the thing that destroyed the banana.
Yes.
But it's also now a time machine.
And yes, Hungry to Clobber. Yes, Interstellar. It's following similar to the Interstellar plot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, granted, if you could survive in a black hole, that could happen, but I just don't see how.
At least not by our understanding at this point.
Yeah, right. I guess the episode is saying we could be over exaggerating some things.
Yeah, just slip in the back door, the old event horizon. We all do it.
Mhm.
They know they've done it many times, right?
Right.
But I do admit, though, the effect of the black hole looks good. The fact that that's more updated to what we've observed in the telescope.
Yes,
I like that.
definitely beautiful. Well, yeah, we just took a picture of the black hole recently, and it took all the telescopes all around the world to take this picture.
Yes.
And it ends up looking like a blurry donut. So,
Right. Hours of exposure, too. It's not like just click and it takes a picture. It's like hours that the lenses are open to take that picture. It's incredible.
yes.
When are we going to be getting new data from the James Webb Telescope? It seems to be very hush-hush. It's strange.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Have you forgotten about
I
it?
follow it on Twitter. I follow it on Twitter, but I don't.
I
I guess
watched
it
the whole
doesn't get.
launch. It was unfolded, and it started taking data. And I remember during the whole process, the whole hoopla, when they said that it was going to be looking at unknown parts of the galaxy. I'm thinking, well, I bet you a lot of that what they're looking at, they don't want to tell us. And so far, they've
Yeah.
proven me right.
Well, they are looking, so we'll see what they release.
Yeah, but we haven't even seen images. I mean, come on, they can have images, right?
Wait, they haven't had images? I thought they have.
Have
but,
they?
Yeah.
I'll check into it. You could be right. It just seems
Yeah,
like
I
we'd
think
be
I've
hearing a
seen
lot
some
more.
things,
I
but
remember when the
not a
Hubble went
lot.
up. I mean, when the Hubble went up, it was like the new thing, and we saw images everywhere, all over. It was over the news. Every time a
Mhm.
new shot would come in, you'd see it on the news, even on all networks. Back in the old days, kids networks was something on local terrestrial television.
Well, also part of the problem with NASA is that sometimes they'll release images, but they'll also, do some edits to
Editing,
it. Yeah.
yes. Smearing out a few things here and there, yeah. A little bit of Photoshop there, yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, so,
All right, sorry. Back to the episode.
well, no, you asked a question, and I need to see.
Well, they do say
Okay, so,
NASA stands for never a straight answer. I'll put it that way.
yeah, yeah, I love NASA, but also, wish I could get more from them. So this is all they have right now. Some pillows? What?
Oh, how nice! There we go. A time machine version. It's like a time machine. Oh, and of course the kids.
The kids, right?
That's not bad. Those are nice little drawings and designs.
Yeah, right?
Those kids are anxious to see something.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll see if we get
Seriously,
any.
yeah, sitting the way it does, it looks like the time machine from the old 1960 movie. I like it.
That is a pretty cool looking machine there.
It is.
Anyway,
That whole entire thing in her hand is the shade just to keep it cool, pretty much. That's the area that faces towards the sun.
well, you're right. There isn't. I guess there's not much going on yet, but maybe there's more that we haven't seen.
Well, I'm sure of
So
that.
now,
Meanwhile, back to Star Wars.
back to Star Wars. Where were we? I don't even know. Wait.
They're examining. Now, that android is not Isaac, right? That's just another evil android. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, it is
Were we
Isaac.
on
They
part
take the
two?
head off. Sorry. I'm losing track. I don't want to get you off track.
No, it's not Isaac. It's not Isaac. It's
Okay, the
not-
bad guy.
Yeah, it's not Isaac. It's just a Kalon that they found.
And here yet, ladies and gentlemen, she was just showing another scene where Ed tries to get back with Kelly. Take
Mhm.
36.
So he says someone. Okay, so they talk about how the Orville lost capabilities when it hits the atmosphere, and that fell into Earth's atmosphere, and May had to escape via escape pods.
And they
So-
downed it in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, right. And the Orville ends up at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, and Lamar thinks they could find the Orville.
Now, remind
And-
me, Jill, how much time has supposedly passed between when all this went down and this episode, according to their timeline? Did they say
from
6
when?
months?
From when? Oh, 9 months.
9 months. Okay, go ahead, continue.
Yes, good question.
You're right. Evil robot, red dots. Actually, definitely not Isaac. Thank you.
Yeah, red dots. So they're dissecting this Kalon, but they haven't figured anything out yet. Meanwhile, Ed goes for a second date with Kelly relative to his timeline. So this is
If I was smart in an android civilization, all my androids would have a self-destruct mechanism built in if they were being tampered with, or somebody was trying to reverse engineer them.
That's right. That's why the Borg, when they realize that they've lost connection with one of their
Queen.
kind, they self-destruct.
Yeah, there you go. That makes a little more sense. But okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I guess Lamar's just that good. He can cut all systems off.
Well, right, and you got to write the episode. You got to have some, drama.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. They should have mentioned that how he deactivated.
Well, he could have said that, right? He could have said it had a destruction system, which I was able to override or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he goes on the second date. He talks about how he was commander at an Epsilon outpost. So I guess like a space station. He was a commander of.
And spaghetti, it looks like, I think.
Spaghetti. Yeah.
And Gorilla's random thoughts. 1 to 2 months. Anton Petrov talks about James Webb a lot. Yes, I have. I'm sub to Anton's channel. He's a great YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some news on that. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll look up some news on that for my Friday show.
Yeah, Anton just released a new video, I think yesterday, about these mysterious gravitational waves coming from the Earth.
Cool. They reached the Earth, in which Kalan destroyed all life, not just the supposedly evil humans. So that runs counter to their whole false morality that they give for why they want to kill all humans. But they didn't just end up killing all creatures.
Right. You notice they showed absolutely no light, so there's no power, but it does have an atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Oh crap. Oh, sorry, I had a call.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I think it's okay. I'm just making sure it's not my daughter.
Go for it.
No, I'm okay. Okay. So yeah, so Kalan destroyed everything. And they think they can reach the Orville stuck in the Marianas Trench with the shuttlecraft.
If they use the shields or whatever, the gravitational field around the ship, right? Because of the depth. And that's our moon. Our moon.
Yes. It's been broken up there. That's a good way to destroy life, Mess up the moon pretty good.
Well, I was thinking if they had a weapon like that, that's strong. Why did they use it on Earth if they wanted to destroy everybody on Earth? Why they left the Earth intact? But I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know either.
seemed like a bit easier. Basically, easier to have a
Well, they just wanted to sanitize the earth, so maybe they can
sanitized.
come use it somewhere sometime.
True.
Maybe
That's true.
they want it for something.
I like hear how when they go. By the way, I know you can't show the video of this, which is really sad. But everybody here now, remember they have no control over the inertia in this ship of theirs. They crashed into the ocean going at least 50 miles an hour, and a lot of them are standing up inside the cab, and none of them fall forward. In reality, they would be smashed to the windshield. But that's
You're right.
and they're standing up. Nobody's sitting down with seatbelts or nothing. It's just a lot of them are just standing there, and they smashed into the water like 50 miles an hour, which I thought was hilarious. I had to laugh. Sorry, go ahead.
Very good point. They make it to the Orville and find Board is still aboard. Oh,
You have any shots of him? I wanted to point
Yes.
something out.
yes, I do. Eventually.
All right, here's where they're landing, right? And I guess the red lights signify emergency power.
Yep.
There's Bortus. You'll notice that Bortus's clothes are loose fitting. I'm glad they did that. It shows that he signified that he lost weight.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow.
Yeah, usually it doesn't look like that. So what they did is they gave him a jacket that's a little bit bigger. So I thought that was cool. Added some wrinkles and made him look like he's losing weight.
Yeah, the reason why he got stuck on board. Yeah, that's a good detail to notice.
Well, that's why I was asking about how many months. So
9 months.
according to their plot, the ship was able to keep power for 9 months, and he said he was on emergency rations, so he was able to survive.
Yeah,
Which
well,
makes
that
sense
kind of
because-
makes sense.
Well, it does because the ship is designed to have a lot of people on it, so he would theoretically have enough food to last him.
Yeah, just him. Yep.
Just him,
And especially
and he
because
and
he
he could eat
can
anything.
eat objects.
Right, he can eat anything, literally live off anything. Right. Okay,
So-
sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's totally fine. It's totally true too. Like, I mean, I don't know how many nutrients he gets from random objects, but it
How many
somehow
does he
helps.
require? How big are his portions? Right.
Right. Since the captain and the first officer died, that's how he ended up on the ship, because he had to take on the role to make sure all the escape pods launched. And they tell him, the first they have to tell him the bad news: Mockless is destroyed, and
Well,
then the
first
good
he
news.
says that Clyde and their son went to there for sanctuary, and then they tell him that Mocklin has been destroyed.
Mhm. But then
And
they
he-
give him the hope.
Well,
Oh,
the
go
reason
ahead.
why I'm on to point this out is because they kind of brushed over it. I know I wanted the plot to move along like everybody else, but basically, Borda says that Clyden and what's the son's name again?
Oh,
I can't
so
believe I forgot the name of
Bortus
this
and
son. But anyway,
Clyden.
Borda says that
Topa.
Topa, he put Clyden and Topa on an escape shuttle to Mocklin for safety, and then he would watch over the ship, right? And he said it's the hope of them being alive and surviving is what kept him going this entire 9 months. And then Kelly says, "Oh, well, we just wanted to let you know Mocklin's been destroyed." Then they cut right to the next scene and they don't even cover it. And I thought that was odd. They should have showed some sort of emotional impact on him, but they didn't. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. They jump quickly from that to saying that we might know how to fix it.
Right. His reaction, I will say, is very, very underrated. It's like he barely. I don't know. I thought it was just odd.
Well, he's probably thought about that possibility for the past 9 months and has already
Yes.
gone through those emotions.
And it would have been
It's
nice if you'd
possible.
have said that. I always
Yeah.
just thought that would be a possibility or something like that. But
Uh-huh.
it's all right. Like I said, I know the plot has to move forward.
Yes. You're absolutely right. These are great points. I like to hear them. And Lamar finds a way to connect to the Connect to Me network, which is apparently the Kalon internet. The Kalon.
Wasn't it called Connecto or something like that? Because I was laughing when I heard it. It sounded like a child toy.
Yeah, Connect to Me. Connect to Me, I think.
Yeah, I thought the name was odd.
It is kind of funny. Well, because we didn't know of any such network and identity, they didn't talk about that.
That's
So
true.
this
But
is
we had
something new.
talked about that. Remember, we had talked about if they had an inner network where they communicated.
Yeah, if they did that, then it would have made it more difficult for Isaac to have been stealthy. But
Yes.
um, you know,
And
he
Gorilla's
finds a
random
way.
thought says inertial dampeners soften impact. So inertial dampeners on the shuttle, I guess.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gorilla's random thoughts. Inertial dampener soften the impact. So that's the explanation.
There we go.
Very good. I love it. Thank you, Gorilla's random thoughts. And so, yeah. So Lamar finds a way to get to the Connect to Me network and disable any booby traps or automatic attacks of the invaders by the Kalons. And Lamar thinks he can find Isaac's data using his neural identification code. And so he needs to download Isaac's consciousness into the Kalon body that they have that we saw earlier, and that will help John finish the calculations for the quantum accelerator time machine thing. And of course, they're going to need all the power, tons of power again.
Right. We'll know when we have those blue rings all lit up.
But this time we don't have the blue rings because it's emergency power here.
Well,
I
right now
guess
it's
maybe.
red. Yeah, I think
Oh,
the red
okay. Maybe we
signifies
will have it.
emergency power. We'll
Yeah.
see here. Yeah, because I don't remember if the blue rings light up or not, but I know I don't want to give away too much. Go ahead.
So when he does connect to this, the Kalon will be on their way. So, also at this moment, oh man. So they make it out. Pretty nice scenes there. And I don't have a lot of notes for this part of the episode because he manages to fix the calculations that he needs to do, having connected to the network. And Ed is at the bar having a drink with Kelly, and they talk about how they could be together, but that they're about to erase the timeline anyway, so why are they talking about it? And Lamar connects to the network, talks to Isaac here. And this is evil Isaac who never connected with anybody and announces that the Kalon have found them. And Dr. Finn is going back to perform the memory wipe for Kelly to make sure that it sticks.
Right. Notice how as soon as he hooked them up to the network, they were able to communicate. So I guess now they can.
Yeah, because this internet network is how they communicate. The Kalon communicate, but I guess they don't share everything with everyone. Maybe it's more like our internet where you have to look things up and you have to share willingly.
Yeah, that's always possible.
That's the only way that it works for me. That the identity still works is if this kind of information is voluntary. But I don't know.
Okay.
And so the quantum accelerator gets enough energy to send Dr. Finn back. But at the same moment, the Orville's destroyed. So we see the Orville smash up.
And I hate to bring it up, but that means the two kids die horribly. But oh well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, off screen.
And everybody else on the ship, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, son of a red shirt. By the way, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's a very good point.
He was in the hospital the last few days. I hope you were doing well. I hope you're out. He's probably still recovering.
Thank you for letting me know son of a red shirt's here. Hello, son of a red shirt. Cheers, Amika. Hope all is well with you guys. Yes. Very great. We just got through this episode here. Kelly's about to drink some coffee, but that's the same time that the timeline splits. So she drops her coffee, but the coffee doesn't disappear. Also, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I guess the coffee existed
Yeah,
in
I
both
thought about that
timelines.
too. Right? Is she gonna step on the cup? I don't know. I thought about that too.
Something bothers me with that coffee cup, but I don't know what. Anyway, she wakes up here, and of course, Dr. Finn fixes the timeline
Right. She
by
tells her
giving
that the
her.
wipe didn't work, so she needs to do it again. Right.
Yeah, she does the wipe again, and everything is restored. I guess either the memory wipe works, or she knows that she has to go through with it. But I think the memory wipe worked.
It's acting like it worked. That's also Ed from 9 years ago, or how many years it was. So
hmm
it looks like it did.
Yep. And so that's that episode.
Right. And then
So
the
what?
episode actually ends. Everybody. That's what I was gonna say. They don't show them. All right, cut back to the Orville. Now everything's normal. The timeline's fixed. Everybody's okay. It doesn't show that. It just says credits. So
Yes.
we'll see in the next season how they handle that.
Yes, that's funny you mentioned that because David A. Goodman said that he was very careful when writing the end of this episode because there is going to be some impacts on season 3. There will be impacts. So Son of a Red Shirt says, just recovering from a bit of lung surgery, not at my best right now, but getting better every day. I just wanted to stop by and say a quick hi and leave a like and support the show.
Well, thank you, sir. Glad to see you. I hope you get better soon.
Yes,
I know
please
how
get
those.
well soon.
Yeah, those lung biopsies are horrible.
Yes, I hope you get good news from them too.
Yeah, I remember when I had mine, I had a hole sticking out the side of my chest for a few weeks after it. By the way, Jill, if I may, can I speculate on season 3 a little bit,
That is exactly
or
what
should
I
I
want
not?
to do. I just want to give you one more bit of trivia,
Yes.
and then we can do season 3 speculation.
Okay.
So, there was some real science reference. There was one science reference hidden in the episode that I didn't even notice. When Ed and Gordon find that synthesizer at the beginning, they're on a planet called Saturn 4, and Saturn 4 is a real binary star system in the
That's
Hercules
cool.
constellation. So yeah, that's some pretty fun stuff. It's 75 light years away from Earth. So we find out that the Orville can go between that star system and Earth in only 7.5 hours. Right? I'm
Which
not
makes
sure the
it
math
faster
behind
than
that.
warp.
Yeah,
That's
I think it is faster than warp. Yes.
yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, by far.
Okay, so that was all I had. So, yeah, so the Orville season 3 is practically here. So yes, now you can give me all the things that you have for season 3.
Well, it's
What do you-
whenever I say everybody, it's obviously it's not spoilers because I have not seen season 3. I have no idea what's going on.
Yes, me
But
neither.
I'm speculating that I think what's going to happen is, by the way, the fact that it's 3 years later now and the Orville has New Horizons label on it, everything looks slightly different. Maybe the way they're going to explain that is because of that time jump, that when they were fixing that time brain
Yes.
wipe and all that with the last episode, they could actually
So
use that to their
everything's
advantage.
slightly different.
Slightly different, right? Because it didn't exactly come out 100% perfect. Everything's a little slightly different. Everybody's a little bit
It's
older,
absolutely
maybe,
brilliant.
perhaps,
I love
right?
that.
So they may
Yeah.
use that. But what I want to speculate is I think what they're going to show is that Kalons have been massing another attack, and that the Union, let me sure I get these names right, the Krill and the Mocklins are going to have to unite against them. And I think what's going to happen is the Kalons are going to go after all 3 species. There's going to be a big battle, and I think who's going to come in to save the day? The female Mocklins.
Ooh,
And
whoa, that's a really neat
I think,
idea.
yeah, I think that's how they're going to resolve. I think that's because they left that open for the females, and we know the females have interstellar travel because they made it to the planet. And there's a famous
But
scene. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well,
There's a
there's a
famous
famous
scene.
scene in Star Wars at the end of the first movie where everything's dire. It looks like everyone's losing and all this. And next, Han Solo comes back. He left earlier in the movie. He said, "I'm not going to be involved. I'm done with this." He leaves. Then they go and they fight the big
Right.
conflict, and it looks like they're losing. And then, bam! Suddenly, at the last minute, he comes in and oh, hello, and he starts shooting, and he saves the day, and he helps them win. But
Okay.
I don't know if
That's
they'll do that.
possible. The the Mako females do have space travel, but they do seem to be living a little bit primitively from what we saw, because they're just starting their civilization.
Correct.
So, well, that remains to be seen. That is a really great speculation. I like that idea. And from the one, a couple of interviews I saw, there was someone who asked Seth MacFarlane, "What's one word you would use to describe season 3?" And he said, "Coexistence."
Well, that would
So,
make the males appreciate the females, because the thing they've been pushing the most is the males consider females weak. So if they can add to the narrative that the females come in and save the day at the end, that would make the men humiliate themselves pretty much, or humble themselves and say, right, that would be the one thing that would seal up that plot end. But I like I said, it's pure speculation, everybody. I have no idea.
that's not a bad idea. And also coexistence, with
Yeah,
Isaac,
right. It would
forgiving
end.
Isaac for what
It
he's
would end
done.
that right. They would eliminate the Kalon if they eliminate the threat totally, and then have where it's only Isaac is the only left over.
Mhm.
But who knows? Like I
And
said,
there's also coexistence with the Krill. The Krill
well,
learning
right now,
to
right,
get
they're
along.
kind of. It's like a maybe if or maybe. And with the Mocklins, we know that it's mainly so they can exchange weapons and things like that. It's not really friends so much. It's mostly for weapons and business. But they've made it look like each of those
Right.
races alone cannot handle against the Kalon. The Kalon seems to be a big threat. And the fact that the Kalons can just create more of themselves, or manufacture more and more, like Kelly said in that one episode where those spheres that were appearing on the planet were just duplicating. So I think by the time they
Yes.
come back, they're going to be a big enough threat where they're going to be. It's going to take all the species together to battle them. I don't know. On the stream I was at yesterday, somebody said they saw a clip from season 3 where it showed all the different ships fighting together, and then I said, "Yeah, then that could be," because it was after I said that. They said, "Yeah, well, they showed a clip where all the different races were shooting together in one scene." I thought, "Oh, then maybe I'm onto something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could be.
I could be completely 100% wrong too."
And it's totally possible.
Oh yes, did
Those are
you
some
guys
good
answer
ideas.
the poll? Did everybody check the poll?
Yeah, so I'll be closing this poll pretty soon. Pop Culture Curator, I couldn't be more grateful for you joining me on the show, because I know it wouldn't be so much fun. And especially this one, you were really great in pointing out a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of details, and a little science problems that you saw. And also the chat was really great at offering some solutions sometimes, like with the internal dampeners that Gorilla mentioned, and
And then
lots of points like that.
yes, and I want to find out more on that Neapolitan drink. Yes.
Yeah, that I didn't know it was real either. I thought it was a sci-fi drink, so it's a real drink. Yeah, that's pretty cool to know that
It
that's
looks like
real.
it's probably sweet, and I do like sweet drinks, like pina
Mhm.
coladas and things like that. So maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, why not? So I really want to thank you in the chat for being so brilliant, and we really need to get your subscribers back up. So
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be posting more videos, guys.
yeah, you were close to 100. Oh wait, no, you were close to 50 last
Yeah, I
time.
had
So
40 something,
let's get you back to 50.
almost there. I'm within a handful of almost getting to where I was.
Mhm.
Gorilla's Random Thoughts did reply, "Okay on break." So a Neapolitan shot is Kahlua on bottom, then pour in tequila rose, and pour in Godiva white chocolate liquor on top. Wow, that sounds good. Mmm.
Kahlua. Oh, okay, that blue stuff. Okay, and then tequila. Wow. Wow, that does sound pretty nice.
It sounds yummy, sweet.
And there's a link to your channel. So you'll be
Thank you
doing
for that.
once I let you go, you'll probably have to push your Ray Bradbury just a 30
I
minutes or so.
rescheduled. Right, I rescheduled for about an hour from now, which is fine.
Okay. Okay, great.
If anybody out there is in the chat wants to join me, please. I'll be having a live stream of the Ray Bradbury Theater here coming up in about an hour. If you'd like to join, I'll be showing 2
Yes.
episodes.
Yes, if you have a laptop, you'll be able to listen to the stream and bring up the bring up the show in another screen. If you're using devices, you're going to want to have 2 devices, one device for playing the stream and one to play the episode.
Yes, I will have links in the descriptions of the stream. Thank you, Jill. I really appreciate it once again for having me here. I had a
You're welcome.
great time, and the season went out on a high note. I would give this episode an A plus I'd
Yes,
say, because
yes, it was a
now
lot
we're
of fun.
really because now we're really excited to see, okay, what are they going, where are they going to go with this, especially with that, knowing that time jump or reality jump or whatever it is they're going to do, or however they're going to explain that. That it'll be interesting how they do that. Different dimension, I don't know. Different time line, I don't know.
Absolutely. And of course, New Horizons, that tells us that it is a new timeline, and that's beautiful. I think that's a great assumption on your part.
It solves
I
a
hope
lot of
everything you're
questions.
saying is right.
Oh, you like
Yeah.
that? If the ending came out that way, the battle or whatever,
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to do it. We'll see.
it would end it, huh? Tie up all the loose ends at once.
So, also you want to subscribe to King Dolphin TV?
Oh yes, I was on there. I think yesterday or day before.
Yeah, he's pretty great. And
A
also
great
we
channel.
Cardinal Sin in the chat.
Hail
Uh,
Cardinal Sin.
Or sale Cardinal Sin.
Cardinal Sin gets some really big wigs on there. He had Carmen Pash on there the other day. I'm like, what? How do you do that?
And Mike Barra and
And Mark Scott Zicree.
Mark Scott Zicree. That's the one I was thinking of. The guy who's working on his own. He's creating his own sci-fi called Space Command. I think
Yes,
that's
he's a
really
big
great.
Star Trek fan. He's written for Star Trek fan. He wrote for the Twilight Zone Companion. He was on, I think, Critical Drinker stream a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, I
Talk-
saw that. I put that in my watch later. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So there's Cardinal Sin there. Great channel. I mod for him, and I love everything he does. Good job on that channel. And yeah, I like his I like when he has important. Also he did Tracy Torme from Sliders,
That's right.
because they're thinking about that. He wants to create a new show, a sequel.
That would be nice. I wish him luck. He's the son of Mel Torme, for all the old people in the audience, the famous singer.
And of course we had Gorilla here too. And I haven't fixed your link exactly. Your link works, but the description isn't quite right.
Yeah, Gorilla, I hope your weather clears up and they get your problems, power problems situated.
Mm-hmm. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episodes, but remember, what's even better than my review is to go and watch the Orville yourself, and binge as much as you can, because the episode drops in less than 2 days. So
We'll see you there on the other side of season 3, season 1.
yeah,
Season
yeah,
3,
next
episode
week.
1.
Yeah, next week we'll be reviewing season 3, episode 1, and I'm glad it's just one episode, because it's going to be one long episode.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And before we go, I wanted to look at the poll. I'm going to close the poll here. Tomorrow beat out The Road Not Taken by 20%.
Oh. Is that what you expected?
Actually, no. I thought The Road Not Taken was going to win.
So did I. But we had a little more sentimental people here today. I guess maybe people were in a sentimental mood.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I do like tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. And Grilla says, Naked HD is my biggest supporter, apparently, in every chat. Oh.
I don't know what that is.
I guess it's a person.
Okay.
Survey now. Poll is going back up today or tomorrow. Oh, sunny now.
Well, good.
It's
I'm glad to
sunny
hear
now.
that.
That's great, Grilla. And I think I'll have you seen the gag reel for season 2?
No,
I don't know if I played that.
I don't believe I have.
Mhm.
But go ahead, go for it. Maybe somebody in the chat hasn't.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jill. By the way, thank you.
you're
So
welcome.
kind.
Yes. And I have a lot of fun doing it, and especially today with everyone's participation, making everything even more fun.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone for joining me today, and we'll see you for next season 3 next week. Have a great day, everyone. See you next
Take care.
time.
Peace.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, I didn't know we were rolling. We were just talking out here.
Oh, okay. Anything I need to know?
We're just looking at Penny's glasses, but we'll act.
Okay, you gonna act? Okay, they're gonna act now, guys.
Hey, Chad, can you do one where you're not pantomiming fellatio? Thanks so much. I just want to go on record that that was a business request that falls under the purview of my job. Okay, let's move on.
I also think that...
Yeah, like that somehow keeps
What?
a shred of like...
What did Seth say?
That was the acting police.
Tala, get the door open. On it.
Get the other door, Tala.
Get the other door.
Thought you were done already and I started acting.
Totally forgot what I was supposed to say.
You're out of line. No. I cut your line, Captain.
Oh my God, it is. Wait, what's my line?
I've never seen him make a mistake, but Mark. Mark was coming back in with his helmet off. Bless you. Let's go again.
Understandable feeling. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh.
That's my chair.
My ear.
Approximately 1 nano. Fuck it. Sorry. Shh.
Ew.
Who said that?
Fuck, we're gonna get fired.
Oh shit.
Doc! I have to tell you about the future! You want to continue, don't you?
No, I don't. I do kind of.